opportunity to dialogue more. I may not have all the answers, but I might be able to tell you where are we in terms of after we launched generation equality. We have just heard about sustainable development goals, which means gender equality and women empowerment is not about Kenya. It's not about Africa as a continent. It's global. That there are concerns to the extent that when the UN decided to have the 17 SDGs, then they also decided the one on gender or equality and women empowerment is very critical. But you also note how these SDGs are very interrelated and very interdependent. If you are doing education, you must be talking about health. If you are doing poverty, I'm sure you are also talking about all the others. Therefore, I think as entities being able to link that the 17 development goals are critical so that you do not lose the line of sight why that we are all trying to achieve each of the SDGs, but at the same time link them together. We could also ask that, but why does gender equality and why does it matter? Is it gender equality for the sake of gender equality, or is there a bigger purpose? But we now know that countries that have got a good rating on gender equality are also having better quality of life. Therefore, research shows that, and I think we should be able to be persuaded. We also know that there is that need to coordinate policy, to coordinate the frameworks that will be able to influence how people see gender. Gender means different thing to different people. When I say gender, people say, oh, you have brought those women things, you know? But it's not about women. It's about the constructed roles of men and women, or girls and boys, but it influences the perception. And they also influence the perception that we have influences decision. Therefore, it's very important to be able to understand when you talk about gender, what do you really mean? And how does it affect the way we relate with one another? And how does it either promote or affect the socioeconomic development of at individual level and at national level? Then knowing gender, the way we are socialized, either you are a man or a woman, and taking into account these are land roles, then we must ask ourselves, where does this all start? It starts right from the families. And that's what we have found in the ministry as we develop the policy. We ask ourselves, what are the challenges? And we have found through research, the way people are socialized at home, when they look at their father, when they look at their mother, and then there are those roles. And I can say actually there's nothing wrong with the roles assigned to the people. They only become a problem when they discriminate. When they assign roles to men that either discriminate them in the way they are supposed to benefit from the surrounding resources, or when also they deny girls and the women what they are supposed to gain. Therefore, we realize that the impact of the gender equality and the women empowerment is very important to think of how can we be more inclusive in terms of diversity of gender. And we know now organizations that are inclusive in terms of gender equality are likely to perform better. So we know decisions are better when they are inclusive in terms of gender. But we also know at least on the table you must be at least 30%. If you put 10 people here, women, and you put 1 man, the voice will be drowned. So statistics show us to have a significant voice and influence a decision, you must have 30%. But we have also argued why 30% when God created as 50-50. So that is the gap that we should be able to work around. But we all know why we are struggling with the issues to do with the gender. The way the patriarchal orientation that we have in Africa, in Kenya, kind of influences and gives us those roles that we are trying to change. But I can quickly add The way I was socialized is different from the way I'm socializing my daughter. They have questions. Why should they do some roles the way I did them? And why? And we have seen some difference in the way they are able to kind of fight for their space so that they can make a contribution.